Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions, and we are here with Bob Bueller of Bob's Trainz for You, right here in Virginia.
Well, welcome, Sean. Bob's Trainz for You here today at the house. We have a eBay store, really, and so I'm working out of my house. I don't have brick and mortar. So what you're going to see on this video today is our whole show down here in the basement of the Bueller house here in Midlothian, Virginia.
All right, so Bob, tell us a little bit about your business. How did you get started doing this?
Well, I lived in Pennsylvania at the time and had a lot of friends in my train club who were buying and selling trains, and I actually started at the Hamburg show in Pennsylvania. My first table was like 2 tables, went to 4 tables, into 6, and so on. But I met some people there and kind of got interested in the business and started buying collections, which is what I do today. And that's how I build my inventory and flip it. So I have what they call new old stock. Most of it is new, never been used, but it is old, it's not brand new. And that's what we sell on a day-to-day basis.
And speaking of what you sell, so would you classify yourself as more modern, post-war, pre-war, or
Sure.
what do you mainly sell?
Yeah, because I feel the future of the industry is in the more modern trains, that's what we focus on. So when a collection comes up that mainly contains modern engines and cars, I'm definitely all over it. If you have a post-war train collection that you want to sell, I'll look into it. I have people that want that. I'll hook up those people with you and get those people to buy that from you instead of me. But even still, at times, I get a mixture of trains, modern, post-war, even some pre-war stuff in one collection. That's okay. But I'll home in on the modern stuff is what I'll do.
And for those who are new into O-Gauge, when Bob mentions modern, he's talking about Lionel TMCC, Lionel Legacy,
Right.
MTH Proto 2, Proto 3. Do you also do the Proto 1 as well, the conventional stuff? Or?
Yeah, we have everything which is called new modern, which would be the past couple of years, but then it is also at the end of the MPC era is when modern started. It's like in the late 1980s and 90s, and that's when you're talking about QSI and PS1.
Right.
And we do have some of those engines here, and they're a little harder to sell because the people today want more of the 2 and 3 protos that have more things that they'll do. And of course, the only problem with a QSI engine, if something happens to it, there's no parts usually that you can fix it with, unless you just turn it into a conventional engine. So that's really what people don't like, the QSI engines. They prefer the 2 or 3 because you can still get parts and fix them. So I try to focus on 2 and 3, but I will buy QSI engines, but I just can't get much for them most of the time, Sean.
And so you buy collections. So I see all the time, I want to sell my train collection. Who do I contact? I see that question asked all the time on Facebook. So you are one of a vendor who would buy a collection.
Yes, I watch that too on Facebook and other social media, and the first question I always ask, do you have a list of what you have for sale? Because most people don't understand what they have. They don't understand what we just talked about, post-war, pre-war, MPC, modern era. So if I can get a list, I can get an idea if I'm interested, or should I direct them to somebody else? For instance, the other day, I got a lady that she had post-war items, and I got somebody to look into that instead of me. I told her I was not interested in it, and got someone else to buy her collection instead of me, because that's what he focuses on, post-war stuff.
Oh, that's great. So you were able to still help her out.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. Got the sale for her. She needed the money, and I got it for her. That's the other thing. I try to help people and give them an idea what they can expect. For instance, the lady that specifically I'm talking about, she had a lot of Department 56 houses. And I said, they're not worth that much money because they were like 30, 40 years old. They were kind of old. And she had the boxes for them, but I told her, I said, probably the best thing for that would be through an auction house, because that might be your best way than trying to find somebody that probably won't pay you much for it. So again, I also can give recommendations to people on what they should do. If they need the money right away, it's best to sell the collection to a person like myself, because we'll give you a check on the spot. Or if you can wait a while, you can go to a train auction of some kind and get your train sold by those folks. But it may take 9 months to a year to get your money.
Wow. That's great information.
Sure.
For those, especially for those who are interested in selling. And as far as selling, do you find that people mainly want stuff still in their box? Because I see people sell without the box, in the box. Or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, when I first started in the train business, I didn't keep the boxes. I threw them out. But I've learned very quickly that a lot of times the boxes is worth as much as a train. And people don't understand that. So when I see a collection, my first question, so I see the listing, like the one I just got was, are these in boxes? And I said, oh, yes, they're in boxes. Well, that increases the value substantially. It almost doubles the price of what they're worth, especially the condition of the box. If it's pristine or something like that, it's worth a lot of money. If it's banged up, shelf worn as we call it, you know, it does devalue it a little bit, but still it's in a box. And like you said earlier, you like to buy trains in a box, and so do I. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, for my personal self, I mean, I'd rather have it in a box. I won't buy anything without a box. But I know everybody's got their own personal preference.
Sure.
I see people who don't have room for the boxes, so they throw them away.
That's right. Exactly.
But so when people go to sell their trains, they know that there's a possibility that it may not be worth as much as if it was in the box.
Exactly. In the box, it definitely is worth more.
Okay.
For sure.
And you would see that because you're on the selling end of that.
Right. All the time. All the time.
And so what do you see... This is going to be one more question, then we'll move on to from there. So, what do you see yourself selling most of? Diesel, steam, or do you see both of them? Or
well, you know, honestly, we do see both. We have, just like yourself and myself, we're both interested in different things. I like diesels, you like steam, and I find that in the industry too, in the hobby.
Well, actually, I'm a diesel person too.
Oh, are you too?
Yeah.
You're both. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. I like you especially. You buy both. But a lot of people prefer one or the other. And if they do, I try to have a little bit of each. You're going to show my inventory later, and I do have both out there. I got a lot of diesels and I got a lot of steam. So I try to hit both sides of it. You got to today. But usually it is one or the other.
Okay. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to show Bob's operations. As he mentioned, he just bought a collection, so we're going to show you how he organizes that and how he goes through the stuff to list it on eBay to make sure that you're getting a good quality product.
Right.
So before we do that, we got one more person to introduce. So here we have Mickey, and explain what you're in charge of here, Mickey.
All right, so my name is Mickey Heiss. I am Bob's eBay lister. I've been with Bob for about 4 years now, pretty much ever since COVID started, and I love doing this. I have a passion for trains as it was, and you know, he needed the help, and I just love watching his business grow. But what I do is I take his collection and I see what he's got, and it is my job to price things and get him a good price and fair price. So if he had just spent a bunch of money, it is my job to make him a return as fast as possible and as efficient as possible. So I'm gonna make him the most for, you know, for what he got into it, and get him a return as quick as possible. And yeah, be competitive. That's the main goal, is be competitive and also be a great representation.
And Bob's Trainz for You is an eBay store, correct?
It is an eBay store. In my mind, it is one of the top 5, if not, you know, right there above maybe 1 or 2. You know, that's my goal. I always want him to be number 1. In my mind, he is number 1, and I want to keep him there. And I take great pride in that, and I know he does.
Right. And I've also seen you at train shows helping him out.
Yes,
so
sir.
You go to the train shows with him, such as the TCA.
Yes.
And see you. What do you do for him at the shows? Do you organize or price things there for him as
So
well?
we try to have everything priced before we go to the show, and yeah, that's my job. I mean, I sit here with my little sticky notes, and right before a show, that's pretty much what we'll do, is we'll pile it on here, put it in the boxes, take the boxes up, put them in the car or the truck, and everything's pretty much ready to go. But it is also my job to make the display as beautiful as possible, to try to grab everyone's attention. I want everyone in our booth. I want him to stand out and be the highlight of the show.
Well, you do a good job, because I know when I
Thanks,
visit the group or the booth, that is, it's like you're just drawn to it, and you guys see my videos on Bob's Trainz for You booth during the TCA show, and the way it's laid out, I just like it.
Thank you.
And I think using pictures of the locomotive as part of the display is also perfect.
It is. It is. Well, some of them we have to. It would be lovely to put them all out there, but some are mint in box, and to stay mint in box, we have to leave it in the box. But we have to show what it is too, because
Right.
you're not going to buy an engine just because of what it says on the box. You're going to want it because of how it looks, right?
Correct.
So you want to see that beautifulness and that shine, and you get that out of the pictures, and that's a good idea. That was a great idea.
And that's less handling and less possibilities for breakage by
Correct.
doing it that way.
And it keeps it, again, fresh, mint. No one can ever question that, and you're getting a perfect product.
All right, so what I would like to do is go through the process. I know you guys just got a collection in.
We did.
So
We did.
let's start.
Pretty big one.
So I would like to, go through the process. Maybe test something, especially track test something. Is that possible?
Yeah, we can totally do that, actually. So what I'll do is, we have a Lionel tie ejector here. Something kind of common. As you can see, it's pretty fresh. But we can take this out. I made Bob a special layout so he can test his engines on the track right then and there.
Okay.
So we can also show people when he takes pictures that, hey, the headlight works. Hey, the ditch lights work. With eBay now, we're allowed to do videos. So we can actually let you listen to
Really?
the
I didn't know you guys could do videos.
We can.
Too.
It takes a minute to upload, and they have to approve it, and that's why. But it'll give you a great understanding of what the train sounds like, what it looks like, how it operates, smoke unit, how it whistles, the steam aspect of it, whatever you want. You get to see it on an operating, kind of little deal right there.
Okay, so let's test it out.
You're on.
So we got to see, Sean, we got to see it work. The tie ejector itself works in the box. You show the back of the box, you see the ties.
Yeah.
There's the ties that go
I
in
didn't
the
even
box.
see that.
Oh, yeah.
I taped them in already, that's how I know they're there. And then the other side, flip it around again, Mick. These are the two things that you use on the side of the track to turn the tie ejector on and turn the tie ejector off. So if you want to see that again, you'll see this thing here move up and down. That's throwing the ties out.
Okay.
See it moving there?
Yeah.
That's throwing the ties out. And you fill the ties up in here. When they're gone, they're gone.
Okay.
So we know this works. We can say it works in our listing on eBay. Put it back in the box. What I'll do is I'll have it right here like this and take a picture of it for eBay purposes. And like Mickey said, I could take a video, but probably this is not that important to have a video.
No, it has
Steam
no
engines.
sounds or anything, so yeah.
So if this had been like a DCS or TNCC or...
We could definitely take a video of it on the main layout or here and show that, but this would be the picture you'll see on eBay of this item, and also show a picture of the ties in the back. And then the side of the box would be the pictures all on eBay.
Wow. I really like your test track.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so it is operating. I wanted him to... He was just taking pictures off of this white board, and he started in his basement, and I wanted him to look professional. He deserved it. And he was getting up there within reputation, and I felt like this was a great representation of it. He gave me a job, and this is my way of just giving back, man. I just used extra stuff that I had at my house, put it together, and said, hey, you know what? Why don't I put a ruler on there? That way it eliminates questions.
Oh, yeah. I just now noticed that.
Yeah,
so let me get close up here. We'll get a...
I went a little detailish, and,
all right, so it gives people... They know how long it is
Right.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
It'll
Get that
eliminate
question
a
a lot.
bunch of questions like he gets all the time. How long is this? How, does this operate? Well, we can show you that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I, put power to it on both sides. That way, you can see it. You know what I mean? And because this did not have bumpers initially, he had a trolley when I first gave it to him. And it didn't have bumpers, man, he flew it right off the table. So, yeah, so I had tweaked it, added bumpers, and, added a little ledge there in the back, and one with actual rail for the back. So if it is too big,
Okay.
we can just switch it out, and you can put it on here.
Oh.
So if it's like a 4-car set or a 5-car set, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And keep adding on to it.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of different abilities, but with the white background, it gives you a nice little indicator of what this might look like on your layout. You know?
Okay. And this test track that does DCS, TMCC, and Legacy, or...
I wish it did. It just does conventional. If we have to do any of that stuff, we go out to Bob's layout, out in the other room over there.
Oh, Bob's layout. Bob's got a layout. Oh, we're going to have to visit that.
Bob has a layout, and it's pretty massive. And for that instance, sometimes we get a massive amount of engines. I will take them home to my own personal layout, and I'll test them myself. Say they need a battery. Well, he doesn't have time to do all this stuff. He's a busy man, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll take about 7 engines home myself, test them. If they don't work, I'll put a battery in them, or fix whatever the problem is, and then take pictures on my layout, and then bring them back here and say, hey, this is what happened with this. This one's NIB. This one's that. You know what I mean? So there's 3 different layouts that actually can go on. Yeah.
So there's a lot to selling.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, being a vendor at a show and or having an eBay store. This seems like a lot of work.
Well, we want to make the customer feel like they're getting what they're paying for, and want them to feel comfortable with what they're paying for. You know what I mean? You're a collector like me. You want to get a good product.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And you want to see that it's a good product. And I feel like this is a great representation. A lot of people don't go to this length to do this stuff, and I feel like this makes him stand out, and as well he should.
Yeah, I mean, this is like perfect. I love the whole thing. I mean, it's a perfect way of showing off the trains that you have for sale, especially on the eBay store.
And it doesn't take up the whole room. Like, we can still work, and it's part of the operation. Step 1, 2, and 3. You know.
Right. Okay, and then this tests good. So what happens from here? Do you?
So from here, he takes the pictures, and then here you go. Everything back. He will take a couple of pictures of this, and the side of the box will tell me what it is.
Okay.
And we throw them back in the box, just as neatly as they came. Sir. And then I take this and put it over near the computer, so it downloads right away. It's kind of almost like a Bluetooth sort of deal that it goes right into.
Okay.
And it may take a minute or 2, or maybe a half an hour, but it will download. Then from there, I'll just do my listing. And how I do that is I'll look to see if there's any other of these guys online. And I want him to be as competitive as possible. Our goal here is to move stuff. We don't want to hold on to things for so long.
Yeah. So you want
get out the door.
You want a quick
We
turnaround.
want a quick turnaround. If he just went out and bought a collection, I want to return that very next day, so he feels a little bit more comfortable about what he just did, you know?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so we'll take it from here, and I'll look it up to see if there's any more of them on here. We'll just go line in a little tie injector and see what the median is. Like I told you earlier, what I try to look for now is, okay, what's the minimum? What's the minimum here? Who is trying to dump stuff? Who is, because I'm not really paying attention to that. I want to know who the highest is. And then that gives me, okay, this is my max. Then I want to get a median. And that's where everybody's kind of averaging.
Okay.
Okay, so we got pre-owned. We know this is brand new. So we got 60 on this. And this is pretty much one that I'm going to compute. That's Trainz right there. And we can go ahead and start making our listing. And how we do that is, that was 60. We want to be competitive, so we want to move it. I'm going to go 55.99. And then I asked Bob, how much do you think it would take to ship this? I want to make sure he's always covered for shipping, no matter what.
$16.95.
Whether it goes to California, whether it goes to Toronto, or whether it goes right up the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
So $16.95.
Yep.
All right.
And that's actually a good price.
It is, and sometimes we'll put a higher shipping. And Bob, if it does go up the street, and say we put $24.95, and you're like, hey, that's a little bit we will reimburse you for that because it didn't take that much to get to you.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's something a lot of vendors don't do. They don't like doing refunds. He's gracious enough to do it. That's what makes him a top seller.
Oh, that's great.
It is. So that, like I said, from there, I got to make sure that all of these fields are filled out because eBay is very particular and they will knock on you a little bit if you don't have all this stuff filled out. So you want to make sure that all your information is there. So no matter what people search, say it's maybe they're looking for the scale, the size scale. You want to make sure it's O scale or, and within O scale, you want to make sure it's what, 1/48 scale? Is that
Right.
large scale or 1/43rd or maybe a little lower? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all this does have to be filled out. And Lionel is wonderful in the fact that they put the date on the back of each box, which makes my life a little easier. With MTH, I actually have to look up the 30- or the 20- on my phone, and they have a whole website that has the product there, but it'll tell you what year it came out, what book it came out in, and I gotta translate that to here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that's one of the fields I have to fill out. You want to fill out as many of these things as possible, like I said, to give the buyer all the information that they need to make their choice, you know what I mean? And make the correct choice.
So typically, how many listings do you do per day if you get a good collection in?
If I'm lucky, I will bang through about 30 to 40 of them. And that's a good day for me. And that's him with the pictures, and the pictures will be downloading. And if I'm lucky, like I said, it'll download right away. If not, I gotta wait to the next day, and that's okay too. What I'll do is I'll just make the draft, and I'll save it. See, the pictures aren't here yet.
Oh, okay.
So that's okay. We'll just take it and save for later. And when they do download, I'll have it ready for, it'll make my life easy. When I get here tomorrow, I come in, pictures right there, list it, done. Then from here, what I'll do is I'll price it for a show. So now this is on. I did this while you guys were talking earlier. And this is online. This is a listing that, like I said, I've already put on. But he wants to take this to a show. We're going to take this to the New York show. He needs to know right away, we don't have time to do that. We need to set up a whole booth and make it look beautiful, right? We don't have time to go through and catalog everything. It's already cataloged on eBay. Awesome. But we need it priced as well. So you asked me that earlier, how do you get set up? That's how we have to get set up. And that's what makes us so efficient is instead of doing all this, we can just go and make a beautiful looking display right away. You know what I mean? And go into the show and start selling instead of having to price and look it up and then figure out what it is. Some things aren't explainable. Some things aren't on eBay. Some things don't have tails on the side. I've got to look them up, figure out what they are.
But people are going to ask, well, it's still fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
So you're going to take that to a show that's listed on eBay, and I'll ask this to Bob as well. So once that sells at a show, of course it's still going to be on eBay. So how do you track what you sell so you can take it off right away?
Well, we learned the hard way how to do that, Sean. What we found was that we all got cameras on our phones today. So if you sell anything, all the guys work for me know when they sell it, take a picture of the end box, so that night we all get together, we talk about what sold that day, and I can get the pictures downloaded to my phone and go through it and take it off of eBay. That's how we do it.
Oh, okay. All right, so Mickey, what else can you tell us about Bob's Trainz for You? I see you have what's known as a BCR.
These are BCRs, they're battery replacement, and they're usually used for older MTH engines. When you get one of these, you will never have to buy a battery again. So if your battery is dead, your engine does not work, this thing will take care of it. Now here at Bob's Trainz for You, we are known to be one of the biggest BCR distributors in the world. We sell more of these than anything else on eBay. They're provided by J&W Electrics. These guys are wonderful people and they make a wonderful product. But if you need a BCR, you talk to Bob's Trainz for You. We got you covered. We've got the BCR ones, and we also have the 2s.
Oh, there's 2 different
There
versions?
are 2 different versions.
I did not know that.
So for the Protosound Almost 3s, the Protosound 2.5s, I guess you would say, they get the smaller ones.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're provided by the same people, the J&W.
Okay, 3 volt.
But if you ever need a BCR, you just check out Bob's Trainz for You. Check out our eBay store. Like I said, it is actually one of our #1 sellers here at Bob's Trainz for You.
All right, and how much do they normally go for, do you know?
Is there 19?
$29 for the BCR,
29.
the 8.4 volt, and that's the red one,
Okay.
and with free shipping. And the other 3 volt is $27.49 free shipping.
Wow. Great deal.
And like I said, you buy one, you'll never have to replace your battery again. I have one in every single one of my engines. Every single one of my MTHs.
All right. So those of you who want to replace and install a BCR and a MTH DCS,
It's the best thing you can buy.
there you go. Contact Bob's Trainz for You.
Thank you.
So you're at a show and somebody says, "Look, I got some trains I want to sell you, and I have them with me." Would you buy trains at the show?
Yeah, just take an example of the last York show. At the York show in April of 2023, a young man came in from Baltimore. He had his father's collection in a van. We went out. He said, "I want to sell it." We went out, looked at it, and there was stuff in there I wanted. There was stuff in there I didn't want. The gentleman next to me in the booth, Jack Rash, he bought what I didn't want, and I bought everything else. And we both have vehicles there, like we have a 16-foot box truck. We can take anything back home with us. So if we buy collections there, we can bring it back. It was a joke when we came back from April. It looked like we bought more there than we sold, because we did buy a couple of collections at York too. So yeah, so we can do that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So that's just another reason for people to visit and go to the TCA.
Oh, you bet, sure.
Yes. They got a collection they want to sell, or if they're looking to buy, and you sounds like you have collections constantly coming in. So that's the only way you can find anything made in the past is through collections, because I know there's things that I'm looking for.
Oh yeah.
And that's the only way because if, let's just face it, not everybody's got the money to buy everything all at once. So when a whole bunch of stuff comes up, unfortunately you have to let some stuff go and find it later, which becomes difficult. You know what I mean? But
yesterday was a good example of what happened. A lady came in, she lost her husband, and she had a listing of what train she had. And I asked her what she had, and she had N-scale engines for sale, something I'm not interested in. But there was a gentleman at the show yesterday, the train show yesterday, that only sells N-scale. I directed her over to him, and he did buy the collection from her. So, coming to a train show, it's really good because you get a mixture, HO, N-scale, G-scale, O-scale, pre-war, post-war, MPC. There's people there that want that stuff. So if I don't want it, I can always direct somebody to somebody else that does want it.
Now, not only are you the president of the TCA, and you also sell there at the TCA, people have the misconception that it's an O-gauge show.
Yeah, that's true. And, I think if you look at the history of the York show, it went from a standard gauge show now to mainly O-gauge. And we actually are trying to get changes made that we can bring in more of the different kinds of manufacturers and dealers who represent other gauges. Because right now we know that HO represents 60% of the hobby. We need to do something to get more HO people there. And we actually are looking at a building we can give strictly to HO and bring those manufacturers and dealers in the future who want to sell HO.
And so that everybody knows, you buy O-gauge collections.
Yes.
And do you buy any other gauges besides O, or you pretty much stick to that?
I mainly stick to that, Sean, unless I have a request from somebody. Like right now, one of the guys helping us is a G-gauge collector. So a gentleman came here one time with a whole truckload of G-gauge trains. He wanted to sell it. And I got that gentleman that helps us out at the shows to look at his collection. He did buy most of it. So again, it's contacts, who you know. If you can direct the person to the person that actually is interested in it, that's what we want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great that you guys help each other. Even though you're not interested in buying it, you'll say, "Hey, you want to see this person? They'll buy it from you." That's just
gotta help people out. I think that's mainly the thing, because a lot of times people just ask me what are my options. We'll give them all the options, let them choose. You don't have to sell it to me. But here's your options. If you want to do an auction, sell it to an auction house, or send it to an individual, here's the pros and cons of both. We can do that for them.
Okay, good. All right, so we are near Bob's layout, and all I can say is, wow. All right, so we're going to go ahead with the process of selling. So you got MTH DCS Proto 2 or Proto 3,
Yes, sir.
Lionel TNCC or Legacy. So you guys explained to everybody how you can't use the test track because it's not set up for it, but your layout is, though, obviously.
Yeah, Sean, what we're trying to do here is to make sure the engine runs more than just 12 inches, and also check the hours, the chronometer reading, if it has it like it's MTH, or if it's Lionel. Let's make sure all the functions work, all the noises. We want to hear the sounds, make sure it's good. Do we have to replace the speaker, or do we have to do something else in the engine itself, before we ship it out? And I think you're going to show pictures of stuff I have ready for maintenance I got to send off before I will sell it. But what we have on the layout right now is stuff that we know it works, and we can go through the process how we do it. But let's take, for instance, this EP5, which is a New Haven, that let's say we just bought this and we're going to put it up for sale, and we wanted to test it. So we have right here, we have 5 different tracks to run it on. This is the outside track, 072 curves, and this engine, along with 6 cars, can definitely negotiate those curves. So we'll put the power on. I put it up to 18 volts at least. I'll find it. First of all, I'll check my settings. I have my settings as MTH DCS. So my Wi-Fi is working over here. We're good to go. So now I'm going to find the engine on my MTH app. There it is. What we have on the layout right now is 2 engines. So what this is telling me, it's picked up 2 engines, both the E6 ABA set on the other side of the layout and this new Haven EP3. And what I can do is I can run both engines as I start. And when I push the green button right there, Sean, it says startup. Both engines will start at the same time. I'll do that right now.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I love how the pantographs are motorized.
Yeah. What they'll do, that's telling me if the green light's in the front, the pantograph is down. If it's in the back, the pantograph is up. And if you know anything about EP3s, when they start up, that little puff of smoke comes out. MTH duplicated that identically, which is really good. So we can try the horns first. Got a good horn. Got a good bell. Both bells are working. And we can check the when it talks, and we have to take it off of both engines to do that.
Reset if necessary.
There we go. That's custom sound.
Now reporting from Bangor on track 1, train number 54, the east wind.
So that we know the sounds work. We can go through
Now reporting from Bangor
all the
on
sounds.
track 1, train number 54, the east
Check
wind.
out the springs on truck 4. The tail seemed a little bouncy. All right, I'll check that out.
This stop is Darien. This stop is South Norwalk. This stop is South Norwalk. This stop is Bridgeport.
Two springs to pad. Check out okay.
So everything's working great.
Is he ready to go?
And then down here, Sean, the question we have
he's
is
in good shape.
the chronometer reading.
Right.
And that's right down here.
Okay.
And that shows us this train has been run 1 hour and 55 minutes and 19 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So I record it right here. Mickey's doing it right now.
How many?
19 seconds.
All right.
That's it.
So now I take this and I take it and I put it into my listing so the customer knows that, hey, this is how much time it's got on it. We're not trying to hide anything. We want the customer to know exactly what they're getting. And
Oh, wow.
so they have the chronometer, they have a video that shows it works, we test it, we physically make sure everything's right. And if it needs to be reset, we reset it, you know. So that's how it goes.
And if it
When I
doesn't
take
work,
this,
we gotta get
I'm
it
going
fixed
in.
before we ship it out.
Okay.
So now I can run it.
Then the fun part happens. Then you actually have to go.
Always got to try it in reverse too.
Okay.
These particular cars are the more modern ones with people in them. You see the people in the windows.
Yeah, I like how MTH put the seated passengers in there.
You notice the pentagraphs have changed too.
Oh yeah.
So when it stops, it does that too. So I mean, this engine and everything here works great if we were selling this set. It's all ready to go. And we can like use your video to put it on eBay to show that it works and everything about it if we were going to sell it.
Well, you said if. You
Right.
said everything's up for sale though.
That's right. Yeah, this is part of my collection. One of my pride and joys, the East Wind. Very rare set.
So somebody's seen this on video and say, Bob, I know that's part of your pride and joy, but what's it going to take for me to have that set?
Well, I have to figure out what we got here and what they want to pay for it, where they are, because shipping will be a situation that determine what the shipping will be. You got an engine plus 6 cars, probably be anywhere from $60 to $70 to ship this to say anything west of the Mississippi,
Oh, wow.
with insurance and signature, because it'd be over $1,000.
Right.
So eBay requires the signature.
Okay. Very nice.
So we're good to go. We can shut everything down. Move on to the next engine.
All right, so I'm noticing a lot of a lot of boxes out here. So we'll go down here and start here first. Now everything we're looking at here down below this first tier is already listed on eBay, correct?
Correct. This is my inventory on eBay. I try to keep it current, watch it, and we look at it for about 6 months. And if it doesn't sell, we'll do something with it, lower the price or do something. But anyway, this stuff will go to York in October if it's not sold by that time. But we try to get this stuff held at a spot we can easily find it, and you can see the prices on it, where those are the prices on eBay. So we know when we go to a show what the prices are, and we can negotiate from there. So that's why we do that.
All right, well, let's say somebody sees it on my video.
Right.
And they say, hey, Bob, can you cut me a deal since if you can sell it to me off of eBay?
Yeah, sure. We can save you at least 10%. And of course, the other thing is that you will not be paying any taxes on it. You buy from us directly. And I'm sure Sean will provide them my direct contact information to do that.
Yep.
And they can do that for sure, yeah. They see something they want, call us, see if it's still available. That'd be the first thing. And then we can quote you a price if we still have it.
Okay. Because with collections, I said it over and over again. You just never know what you're going to find or what people have collected over time and what you're going to come across. Because that's why I like going to shows, even if they're small ones. I still enjoy going to, shows. I just want to pull these out if you don't mind. And
They just arrived this afternoon.
I'll let people take a look. ABA set. That's cool. Eerie. So you never know who's going to be interested. So these just arrived, huh?
Yes.
Pennsylvania?
Mickey just put those on eBay this afternoon, so they're on there now, and he brings them over here to put them here in the inventory.
So what's nice about these Madison coach cars that MTH made
Yes.
is that they'll run on a smaller radius track than the Lionel passenger cars, correct?
21 inches, yeah.
Yeah, 21 inches.
I believe they're 17 versus 21, so yeah, definitely. And that set comes with that real rare car that you're holding in your hand right now.
Oh, okay.
You rarely ever see the 3-car plus the RPO car, which is really nice to have in the set.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice looking car, too.
Yeah. All brand new, never been used.
Wow. It really amazes me how you find people, selling collections of trains that never been run that are brand new.
Happens all the time, yes. Really is.
Now, since you live out here in Virginia, do you find yourself mainly getting East Coast stuff, or do you get West Coast stuff too?
I would say you're correct that majority of stuff I get is eastern United States.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Railroad, Jersey Central, CSX, Norfolk Southern, of course, C&O, B&O, all of that we definitely get a lot of, but we still get people like myself who collect UP and other Western railroads here too. But for the typical train show, the Eastern railroads are going to sell. The Western railroads are going to sell on eBay. That's the people who will buy them.
Oh, okay. Oh, George Bush. Wow.
That's a George Bush engine. Just got that brand new in the box. Bought that at a train show. A gentleman was getting rid of it. He had it. That's the original George Bush engine that MTH did a couple of years ago. Really nice.
All right, and I'm looking at this. I didn't know that MTH did a SD24. That's cool.
Different, isn't it?
Yeah. I see sometimes MTH will list them, and I see this question asked all the time. What's the difference between high rail wheels and ones that don't have high rail wheels? Do you know?
Yes. It's the flange on the wheel itself.
Okay.
And what they're talking about is 3-rail versus 2-rail.
Oh.
When you see high rail, you know it's a 3-rail engine. If you see something else, and it would be usually designated by a -2, is the way MTH did it.
All right.
They do a -2. You have the 5 numbers of -2. This has a -1 as you saw up there.
Right.
On that SD24, it's a -1. That means it's high rail and it's 3-rail. The -2 is definitely a 2-rail engine. It would not have the high rail or the long flanges on the wheels themselves.
Okay, yeah, because I keep forgetting that MTH also did 2-rail stuff.
Yes.
And the Rail King locomotives are great for those who have layouts that can't accommodate the longer curves, such as, O36, O42, O54. Rail King would be perfect for them, correct?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, definitely the smaller layouts, the Rail King is perfect. Everything is smaller. You don't get the detail that you would get in a Premier. They don't do everything the Premier engines do, but basically they will have all the functions you need to have, and they'll work on a smaller layout, which is great.
I see you got a big boy, huh?
Big boy there, yep. She's brand new.
Brand new, wow. Climax. Some people like the Climax for the logging operations.
Yeah, I have a Climax. I bought that brand new from a gentleman who actually wanted a Shay. He wasn't happy with the Climax. And I also have the caboose that goes with that Climax, the matching caboose that goes with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
GG1.
Mm-hmm. Switcher.
Now, my understanding is some of these MTH switchers, even though they're Rail Kings, are still scale. I've heard that.
Some of them are, I would definitely say that in the caboose side of it. You see a Rail King caboose versus a Premier caboose. They're basically the same thing.
Okay.
Same size and everything. Some of the engines, yes, but the majority of them are not. So, steam engine or diesel, they're going to be a little bit smaller.
All right.
In general. They're showing you, looking at the individual cars. Some of them are full Vistas. Some of them are the die-cast water tenders. Some specialized engines. And over here we got some Lionel engines.
Right.
Smaller ones too.
I noticed you have a die-cast auxiliary water tender.
Yep.
For Norfolk and Western. I know people are always looking for.
That's a good seller, yeah.
Yeah, the auxiliary tenders, they get hard to be, defined later on too.
Oh yeah. We've got one in Rail King here for Norfolk and Western.
Oh wow.
And then we've got the one there for Premier. Good seller.
Yeah. Got Atlas O Premier GP40.
Yeah, brand new. That's the gold-plated one that they just did.
Oh yeah.
Using the molds from MTH.
Okay.
Operation Lifesaver. That's a nice one.
Got some scale tracks.
Yeah, the gentleman collection we just got, he bought a whole bunch of scale track and never used it. Still brand new in the box. He had guardrails on his layout. He's going to switch to scale tracks, but never did it. So there they are.
I know people that do like the scale track stuff.
Yes. I got straights, I got crossovers, and the switches.
I'm just going through your stuff here. Oh, yeah. Long Island.
Yeah, I met a gentleman. I bought his collection. He was from Long Island. He had everything Long Island. That's the last 2-car set I have from everything I purchased from him. And he sold me a lot of stuff. That was about 2 years ago now, and over the years I've sold most of it except that one left.
Here's something old school.
Oh yeah, Lionel Rail Blazer.
Yeah, I remember them.
Just got that in the collection just 2 weeks ago. That set. Got a Williams engine down there.
And you also got full entire sets.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's say I want that chassis out of there. Would that be something you sell separate?
Well, it depends.
Uh-huh.
If I have a set like that I can't move, I definitely would consider selling parts of it, breaking it up.
Okay.
If it's something that's better to sell as a set, like some of them aren't, but some of them are, then I wouldn't break it. But yeah, if it's something that we could break up, I definitely would do it.
All right. That's good for people to know.
Sure.
And then we have, gets a little dark over here, but I'm sure you can still see.
See
We got
Heritage cabooses in black too.
Oh yeah. Wow. Very nice. Trying to catch some of the names in case I see something.
Probably see something Conroy going to pull it out.
Well, I did, but I have most of all my cabooses are actually Lionel. But
Well,
here's
the other day, a gentleman came over here and he was looking for a red Conrail caboose.
you know what the funny part is somebody actually gave me one
Did you?
at the TCA show.
Well, I found out that that does actually exist, and MTH did do a red caboose,
Yep.
and it's rare. You just cannot. I've never seen it. He's looking for it. He said if I find it, he'll buy it from me. So
Kevin Quinn told me the story behind it because he actually knew about that caboose. But I gotta get a hold of him again when I go to the next Mecca show because I forget half the story already.
interesting, yeah.
But that real, like you said, it really did exist.
Oh yeah.
It's a real.
And the interesting thing is, here in Richmond, the RFMP red caboose is out at one of the sidings here in the Richmond area. You can actually see that red caboose, and Atlas did it, and it's a rarity also, and it's beautiful to run that red caboose on your layout
Oh, okay.
with your RFMP stuff.
Man, you got some nice stuff. Stuff that hasn't been out in a while. That is amazing. And so, is your inventory? Well, obviously, it has to be. It has to be computerized, right?
Yeah, we try to get everything, on eBay, which is where the central location of everything is. And then as we sell things, we take it off. And everything you're looking at there is on eBay right now. So they can look on eBay and see what the price is, and we can take a 10% discount off of that, plus no tax, and then give you the actual shipping to your location to do it.
And I'm sure, I mean, a month from now, after I'm done and put this up on, on the internet, I'm sure that this inventory changes constantly. So I guess the best way to keep track of what you have and what you're selling is just to keep an eye on your eBay store.
Correct. That's going to be the most current.
Because you don't have an actual website.
I do have a website, but I don't. The trains are not on there. The trains are on eBay. Cause
Okay.
it's just myself and Mickey that do everything, so just two of us can just do so much.
Yeah. And people are going to probably ask, but I'm going to ask for them.
Sure.
Do you have any Lionel 990 Cab 2 remotes for sale?
I don't right now. I've had them. They come and go. As you would imagine, when I get them, it sells probably within the first week. If I put it on eBay, 2 days it's gone.
Oh, wow.
Especially if the price is right. If it's under $1,000, it pops. If I want to put it on auction, it could sell for $1,500 or more. So yeah, that the 990s are still going real good.
It just amazes me how Lionel decided to discontinue something without having a replacement ready.
Ready, that's right. They're talking about this fall right now, hopefully. But I think it'll be more like February next year.
Yeah, you're probably right, because most people that did the reviews of the Lionel catalog have all noticed that, and Volume 2, the Base 3 isn't even in there.
Nope, it's not there. I got one on order, but I don't have it yet. Still waiting.
Oh, for your own personal self?
Yes.
Okay.
To add to my Bluetooth.
Well, this is amazing, and again, if you're looking for something in particular, looking for that special piece, contact Bob's Trainz for You. Also, if you're looking to sell, Bob's Trainz for You will give you a good quote on what they'll pay for it, and then you can accept it or not accept it, but you'll find that he's pretty fair with his pricing. So if you want to sell a collection, contact him. I'll put all that information on how to get a hold of Bob in the description of this video.
Charlie, if you would, show them the engines we got for maintenance.
Okay,
These
yeah.
engines we tested on our layouts and found that they were some way they didn't work correctly. Either they didn't do what they're supposed to do, or they needed a new speaker or whatever. We're going to send them to maintenance people to get done. We have Lionel repair people, we have MTH repair people that will do this for us. Now, this happens to be all MTH right here, but we do have other Lionel stuff that we take to our Lionel repair guy. And if anybody wants that information, I'd be glad to share it with you. I don't need to make anything on it. You ship direct to those people, get it fixed, and get it back. I met a lot of people at Trainz shows. How do I get something fixed? I don't know how to get it fixed. I can help you out with that.
Oh, great. And it's good that you test, and if something's not quite right, you make sure you take the time out and send it out, make sure it gets properly repaired, to make sure that the people who are buying it are happy.
Right.
And
We try, Sean, but even in shipping, things get broken. I've had things break in shipping, and the guy said, well, I thought you tested it, and the pieces fall out when he opens the box up. Well, if you watch what happens with a lot of these delivery people, they throw the stuff, and it smashes and breaks, and you can't. I do the best I can to pack it, but you can't prevent everything. So yeah, we try.
Right. Okay.
Great, thank you.
All right, so I'd like to thank you, Bob, for the behind the scenes on Bob's Trainz for You.
Yeah, our pleasure.
And also like to thank you for allowing me to tour your layout and your wonderful collection, because you're not only a seller, but you're a collector yourself.
Oh yes, definitely. We didn't show you all the things we have in the collection because you probably want to buy it, but we do collect a lot of other things, and I try to specialize in some of the real rare stuff that I really enjoy running, like you saw today, the City of Miami and the East Wind. Those two I've been looking for a long time. We finally got them, so proud to show them off today.
All right. And so once again, check out Bob's Trainz for You on eBay. If you're going, make sure you hit the TCA show, because he's always there, and he's got a huge booth of loads and loads of locomotives normally, and MTH Lionel rolling stock, and
Yep.
so he's
Sure
pretty
do.
well set up. Just check him out. He's willing to make the deals. He's willing to buy your collection. And thank you once again, Bob, and we'll see you trackside.
Thank you so much, Sean, for coming.
All
Really
right.
enjoyed it too. Thank
Okay,
you.
goodbye.
Bye now.